Diesel from Imagineyourgoddess here, and I am showing you one of my new BT13 decks. This time I'm showing you Beast Deity. Alright, now I'm just going to go out on a limb here and guess that you guys will not like my build. So I'm just going to go into it and I'm not going to explain nothing. No, I always explain everything, you guys know that. So let's start with my starter, Riot Horn. Okay, now in the past, I'm sure you guys have heard me talk about Riot Horn. And talk about, oh, you know, I like the other one, the lion, better. White Tiger, thank you. Sorry, there's a lot going on and it's throwing off my mind. White Tiger, I like better for the Illuminal build. I think he's more aggressive in the Illuminal build, and I stand by that to this day. I played him all the way up until BT13 release. Okay? But for this particular build, you get to stand a lot more often. You get a lot of crazy kind of weird stands. And so getting the Riot Horn to stand along with something else is just good. Put a 11k in front of it. It's a 16k column. Put your 12k attacker in front of him. He's a 17k column. All in all, it's fine. It's good. It works. I like him. I always move him to the corner. So that's what I do. Okay. Moving into triggers. 4 copies of Heals. Rescue Bunny. It's a Beast Deity. 6 critical triggers. I run 4 Red Lightning and 2 of the Scorpion guy, Death Stinger. I want to run as many Beast Deity triggers as possible, but you cannot pass up the opportunity to unflip damage when it is so easily presented to you. So I go ahead and run 4 Red Lightning because if I am getting very counterblast heavy on a game, I want to be able to unflip that damage. And I don't run Clay Doll anymore, so Red Lightning has to do it. Then I run 5 draw triggers. Okay? Now I've told you guys before I like 7-5. So I went ahead and went 6-5 on this one. Why? Because I run 1 stand. I run Beast Deity Bright Cobra as a 1-of in the deck. Now, 1-of doesn't seem to be very consistent, and you guys have heard me harp about consistency over and over again. But to be honest, in this deck, you want to be able to stand. And having 1 stand in your deck really throws off your opponent. Because if they see you flip the stand, they think you're running more, and they try to prepare for the standing. And then they're not ready as often when you just double crit them or whatever. They'll often think you're running Rainbow. They don't plan as well as they should because you're only running a 1-of. So I run 1. You could run 2 if you like, if you don't mind 4 draws, or if you don't mind 5 crits. I run 1 draw, or 1 stand. So that's my trigger lineup. Okay, next up, 4 perfect shields. Solar Falcon looks awesome. So I run 4. 3 copies of Beast Deity Blank Marsh. Now, Beast Deity Blank Marsh used to be the only Beast Deity booster you had. So you had to run 4 of. In this build, though, you have a little more option on what you can flow through. There are 10k attackers. There's Max Beat, which I'll be talking about in a minute. But there's plenty of things that you can run. So I run 3 copies of Marsh just to give me some standing chances. And I also run 4 copies of Max Beat. What Max Beat does is you can counterblast a Beast Deity when he stands to stand another Nova Grappler. So, give me 1 second, guys. Okay, I'm back. So Max Beat counterblast when he stands to stand somebody else. So I like this effect. It is super cool to pull off a chain combo where you stand him and then stand someone up in front of him. He has a really cool combo with Papio, which I'll show you later. And all in all, he's a really good stander. So I run 4. And then I run 3 copies of Hilarity Destroyer. Mostly for the grade fixing. If you are running short on grade 2s, you're not hitting your grade 2s for whatever reason, you're not hitting your grade 3s, you just need some shields in your hand, you can throw Hilarity Destroyer up front, try to hit, and if you hit, drop and draw. So I like them. I Run 3. Okay. Next up, we got 4 copies of Brainy Papio. Brainy Papio's ability, he's a 9K grade 2, and his ability is you can counterblast a beast deity when his attack hits a Vanguard to stand a different beast deity, or Nova Grappler. So, you swing with him as a rear guard after you've swung with your row with Riot Horn, and your opponent lets him hit. Then you get to counterblast 1, stand the thing in front of Riot Horn, and stand Riot Horn as a result. Another full column attack. You can also use his effect to stand Max Beat, and then use Max Beat's effect to stand something else. If you have Max Beat and Papio in the same row, you can use his effect to stand Max Beat, and Max Beat's effect to stand him. Counterblast 2 to just stand an entire column, which if your opponent's not hitting triggers, is amazing. It is a very, very hard worker in the deck. I run 4. Then I run 4 copies of 12K Attacker. 12K Attacker is the best card, in my opinion, to put in front of Riot Horn. So, that's why I run 4. Then I run 3 copies of Golden Anglet. Golden Anglet still does a lot of work in this deck, because since there's a lot more standing going on, he gets to become a 12, 15, 18K attacker quite often. Like, he gets a lot of work done. But more often than not, I end up writing him as my Vanguard. Now, there are other grade 2s that you could play. You could play Damn Leo, which is the 10K vanilla. I love the art on that card, but I just don't need a 10K vanilla anymore, so I don't run it. Some people will tell you to run it due to the defense. I've told you that in the past. Potato, tomato, choose the one that you prefer. Alright, and that covers the grade 2s. Alright, last is the grade 3s. I run 3 copies of Ethics Buster and 4 copies of Ethics Buster Extreme. Now, you all know what Ethics Buster does. He's the Break Ride. And when you do Break Ride, you get the plus 10K, and your new Vanguard gets the ability, when the Vanguard attacks, stand the front row. Which, with Riot Horn behind something, stands the front row and Riot Horn. Very, very nice. Does a lot of work. Ethics Extreme has Limit Break 4. All of your grade 1 and higher beast deities basically become stand triggers. They stand a Nova Grappler whenever you reveal a grade 1 or higher beast deity on a drive check. So, again, more standing, a lot more action, a lot more attacks. I also run 1 copy of Deadliest Beast Deity Ethics Buster Reverse. Now, Ethics Buster Reverse's effect is kind of hard to get around. There's a lot of red in it, so I'm going to go through it step by step. During your main phase, if you have Limit Break 4, you can Counterblast 2 and choose 2 cards from your hand with Beast Deity in the name and discard them. And if you do that, then he gets the auto ability. Oh, you also have to lock 2 Nova Grappler rear guards. And then if you do all that, he gets the ability, at the end of the battle that this attacked a Vanguard, you may stand him. And it stands, and you cannot stand him again for the rest of the turn. So, the way that works the best is if you break right over Ethics Buster, then you use the ability, so you have to lock 2 cards. You'll hopefully have some kind of heavy hitter there, and then you lock that and you lock the booster behind them. Then your other column is some big creature and Riot Horn. Okay, this is pretty optimal for everything except against another cross-ride deck. And what that does is it makes it so that you can go 12, 16, 21, stand everything. 12 plus maybe triggers, 16 plus maybe triggers. 21. 23, I'm sorry. Stand every rear guard. Then you've got another chance at triggers for another column of insanity. Okay? Now, this works out really, really well when you get this off. But otherwise, reverse is not a huge component of my deck. I kind of run them as a last-minute scare for anyone who thinks that they've got my deck figured out. And overall, it works pretty well. They see the reverse, they're not sure of my ratios, and they're back to trying to figure out what to do. Okay? Now, Ethics Reverse, or Ethics Buster, the Break Ride, and Extreme could be run as 4 and 4. And I like 4 and 4. But I had someone ask me why I didn't run 4 copies of the Break Ride and then split up the Extreme with the Reverse. And the reason is that in the end of the game, Extreme and Reverse do the most work, not Ethics Buster. If I Break Ride an Ethics with an Ethics, then I'm not getting the full potential that I could get from the deck by riding over them with Extreme or Reverse. So I want more copies of Extreme and Reverse than the Break Ride itself, so that I can do more work at the end of the game. Because if you can't re-ride over Ethics Buster, then you have a vanilla no-standing thing happening. And that does not help you. So that's why I play what I play, and this is my Nova Grappler Beast Deity build. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what's going on. Let me know what changes you'd make. I will give you guys an idea of the deck I will be running during Invaders Defenders when we get a little closer, or maybe after the actual team tournament, because since we have to choose a side, I can't run both. So I'll give you a notion of that when we get to that. But in the meantime, this is Diesel signing out.